Hello and welcome. I'm Naomi Susan Isaacs, International Charisma Consultant, coach and speaker, and founder of the Institute of Charismology. Today I'd like to talk to you about how we see the world. Many years ago, I had a conversation with a dear friend. This conversation lasted most of the night. We were examining the history of a human being, one human being, their history, and how we begin to take notice of the world, perceive the world, and finally see the world. And some of our conclusions appear to me to be relevant to this day, and I've not heard them anywhere else, and so I'd like to share them with you today. The first thing that we know about the world when we are born is that we are received by our mother. We are put on her breast, and within the first day or two we learn to feed, and it is the mother who nourishes us. Now this will of course seem obvious to those of you who are steeped in the world of spirituality and esoterics, because we talk about Mother Earth feeding us. Our Mother Earth in the first few days of our lives is our own mother. And we learn that when we scream in the middle of the night because we wake up and we're hungry, we scream, and who comes? Mother. And Mother takes us in her arms and she feeds us. And she might be very, very tired. And she might even be annoyed with us. But she's there for us. Sometimes Daddy comes, a man. He has a deeper voice. He doesn't feed us. Maybe he plays with us. He's nice to us. He loves us. But he's not there all the time. And in real need, it's our mother who feeds us. As we get a little older, we notice that Daddy goes to work every day. Daddy gets a kiss on the cheek in the morning and takes his briefcase with him and goes out of the house, and he doesn't come home until it's dark, or at least until much later. And when he does come home, sometimes we're not allowed to talk to him because he's had a bad day at the office, and we have to be quiet. Don't annoy Daddy, he's had a bad day at the office. Well, so what we learn about men, we learn that a real man, because our Father is a real man, we learn about real men that they are not there during the day. Who is there during the day? Is Mother, is woman. And we learn very early on in our lives that one of the basic definitions of a woman is person who is there for me all the time. And what do we learn about men or about man? A real man is a man who leaves in the morning. When it gets light at the beginning of my day, he leaves to go to work, to earn the money, and he comes home at night and needs to be treated very carefully because he's had a bad day. Excuse me. Now, I've shared this picture with very many people, and many women have said to me, now I understand why I always choose men who are just sort of never there for me. Or, I had this wonderful boyfriend, but he was always there, and so I didn't feel that he was a real man. Oh, of course, because he was showing the characteristics which you expected of a woman. And after a while, I had the courage to share this picture with a man. And he said, "You are so right. And you know, when I was a child growing up, and I would see my father leave the house every day to go to work, I would think, where does he go? Poor Daddy. He has to go out and play, and he's not allowed to come home until it's dark. And I got very frightened. I didn't want to grow up because I knew that when I grow up, I will have to stay away all the time, and I will only be allowed to come back when it's late and dark and time for supper. So I know I am a woman, so maybe it's easier for me to relate to other women when I tell these stories, but I have also met men who really get a lot of self-realization when they hear this conversation that I had with this friend of mine many, many years ago. Maybe you'd like to think about it. A woman is a person who is always there when I need something. A man is a person who by definition is not there. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a real man. Maybe you'd like to share this picture. Maybe you'd like to have your conversation with your friends about it and see what conclusions you come to. Because what we learn in the first few days and weeks of our life is so firmly implanted in our brains, in our cells, in the memory of the beginning of our lives, and our picture. This is our picture of how the world is. And to change this picture, if we want to, we have to realize what it is that we've been believing up to now. That's it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed hearing this picture. If you did, share it with your friends. Please share. Sharing is what we're here for, to share everything we know and everything we have with others in our community, with our friends, to help them grow and develop further. And I look forward to talking to you again in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful time. Enjoy your day, enjoy your life, and enjoy sharing yourself.